Guys, good day. This is Anne of Reinforcement Club, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today we are going to talk about how to stay motivated when life feels like a giant question mark. Have you gone through that phase in life wherein everything that you do doesn't seem to work towards your goals? Or you're not even sure about your goals. You're not even sure if you really do want to, that direction in life. Otherwise, it's like another way of saying that you've no direction. Life feels like a meaningless journey. But, I've realized it's not actually meaningless the entire time. I have gone through that phase in life after I graduated nursing. That was way back 2008. That, it was a massive global crisis wherein there was almost no turnover of nurses, from one company to another and from one hospital to abroad. There's absolutely less or nothing at all. And, as what I've heard from my friends, this is not a matter of fact thing. US wasn't hiring that time in 2008. They don't accept nursing jobs, abroad. I mean, nursing job seekers from abroad, as to what I've heard. And I even believe it that time because, we've no jobs. And I could say that we've no jobs because a lot of us, including my classmates and myself, we ended up doing volunteers, hoping and thinking that we could be absorbed by that hospital institution where we did our service. But that wasn't the case. So some of my friends, they work as a medical representatives. Some of them, they work in the call center, which actually work for them. They're still employed in that call center, this time in a certain position. Some of us, they started their own business, which I'm not sure if I didn't see them anymore. Yeah, I remember I got one schoolmate, it works. He got a gasoline station. And, I was devastated that time. I'm not sure about the feelings of my friends, but we were together as one. We go out at nighttime together, broke together, and doing stuff that, those, should I say, struggling people do in the streets. We even slept in the park because there's like no more transportation at between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning that time, and we just go home at 4 o'clock because there are some jeepneys started to work early that time, that help us. Those drivers help us get home a little bit tipsy or drunk. And that time in 2008, 2009, things were quite shaky in my life. That even after I passed the board exam, by the way, after I graduated in 2008, and I need to do my review, which actually I took the nursing board exam in January 2009, and after I passed the board exam, that's the welcome life phase of me. Like, oh my gosh, this is life. Nobody's giving me an allowance this time. What am I gonna do? I'm broke. I'm not producing, and I have big dreams. But U.S. was closed that time, and so far, Middle East was the only countries open for nurses, and I have no experience. And the hospitals, they're not hiring because they have enough nursing employees. So even though they have enough nursing employees, I still ended up volunteering, going to work, and thank God my dad still gave me at least fare and food allowance, for my volunteers and trainings. But other than that, I couldn't support myself. It was too bad, and I felt frustrated. I'm starting to have a doubt to myself that I have big dreams in life. I want to go abroad and I want to travel, to different countries, but it seems like blurry, out of reach. I didn't even have a job. I was unemployed, and when you go through that phase where you feel like lost and pointless, you're prone to depression and unhealthy habits. So that time I was drinking. I couldn't sleep without drinking because I couldn't bear the pain of waking up and still you know still useless, quote unquote useless. I couldn't do anything to save myself. I tried to apply in call centers. I got poor English that time. That's why I failed 5 times in English test. So I didn't I didn't get a job, and I didn't know what to do. And as I've said, it was meaningless. I got my first job in 2012. They finally decided to make me an official employee in 2012. I could say that was a proper job because I was in a casual contract before that, and it took me time to really get this permanent contract because I have to wait for for the next turnover, which is reasonable. So the very first thing I've learned in those hardships is that it's important to teach ourselves to fight for our life through the pain, get through the pain, and still continue living in spite of the hurt, in spite of the things that going on inside your head that you're not going anywhere. Just continue living. Never give up. Never. I even thought about giving up, but I can't. I mean, I'm not in that position to take my own life. I know. So no, I just get on. Sad, mad, frustrated. I felt it. And I've also understand after getting through that, after overcoming that phase, I've understand that life is just like the peaks and valleys. I actually got this from a book, Peaks and Valleys. Sometimes you're successful, everything is working, and then after that, you're gonna go down. You're gonna experience hardship again to prepare you for the next phase, which is going towards your peak again, success. But those adversities, hardships, challenges will teach you another upgraded, lessons to make you level up for the next part or phase in your life. And in other words, we got to grow. And we're never going to understand or get the lessons unless if we're not self-aware, if we don't get to the point of becoming self-aware, learning the lessons. And other than getting through the pain, which is number one, part of it is to really, what really inspired me in that phase is, my support system, my dad, my friends, my cousins, my aunts, who still understands me that, even though I wasn't really helping the household chores that time, I don't know what to do. I keep staying in my dark room. I don't even want to turn on the lights. So other than that, I got some drinks in the fridge with some alcohol. So that would help me get to sleep every day. Being a life of being unemployed. So yeah, I have a good support system, and my dad never gave up on me. Another thing is that another lesson I've learned from that phase is to lean on your why. To lean on why what am I living for? What is my reason to live? Actually, before, when I was in that phase, broke phase, pointless, meaningless, lost phase, I didn't know what's really my goal. I have doubts about my goals, my big dreams. I don't even know if I could ever get those goals in my life, which actually, false, which actually wasn't true, because I was able to, do the things. I was the kind of person that I'm dreaming for that time, like It was kind of 15 years ago. Yeah. So I was that person. I am that person I am dreaming of 15 years ago. It could be 14 years ago. And it took me years and years to help myself get my shit together. I was living in that kind of frustration for years and years until I finally get disgusted. That was the time when, before I went to Saudi Arabia to work. And, even during, I was applying for the job in the Middle East, I can see some, some inequalities going on. But I still live it. I still get through it. And look, I just move on. I didn't quit. I never quit. Inequalities, and could be, people wouldn't treat you equally in the right manner that way. But I live with it. I didn't let it affect me, which leads to the third lesson, which is focus on what you can control. What you can control: your daily routines, diet, your mindset, your reactions, and your attitude. So there's a lot of things I've encountered that, it led me to the point that I don't really have to earn the respect of all the people in the world. No, it's just going to wear me off, and I don't have to go for that. I just leave with what I have and use what I have to go for where I want. And having the sense of control of your own attitude, your reactions, your daily routines. I started reading self-help books before I went to Saudi Arabia. That was I was nearly 30 that time, 30 years old, and I've read self-help books of that actually was like a dopamine in my brain, like, oh my gosh, why I haven't done this before? Why I didn't done I was so negative that I thought I was hopeless. And then I just, one of the best solutions that really helped me was reading. I just have to buy a book. My books are much expensive than my salary, my daily wage. So, yeah, I'd rather invest in books which will boost my head up, my brain, with loads of dopamine, inspiration, and hope that at least one day something will happen in my life. So, yeah, that was part of my routine, and I started working out 3 to 4 times a week that time, and I lose weight. I was quite heavy from drinking before I went to Saudi Arabia, and I've no access to drink or liquors in Saudi. It was banned, totally banned. So, yeah, I started working out, being in charge of my diet, and I even explore more on finances, financial management, and that really helped me a lot. So, having in control of the things that I can control helped bring back a sense of power in me, that I could still do something for my dreams. And having that mindset helped me pass the English test that I'm finally here. And even though I'm here already, I would happily talk to myself that time, 15 years old ago self, that look, don't take it seriously. Learn the lessons, never give up, which I did, and it was, frustrating, and it wasn't easy. From these 3 lessons, I would say it again: get through the pain. The second is lean on your why. The third is focus on what you can control. I have understand that even in uncertain times, me, myself, and all the people in the world, we will always have a choice. Even in uncertain times, even in the midst of hardships, we always have a choice. Whether to sink in and fight or fight. And this lessons gives me move forward whatever it takes. Even to this day, I was even thankful that it happened. Although it was the darkest day of my life, I'm not sure that, we'll never know. There could be another darkest days. So I'm quite preparing for that. And yeah, just like everybody else, I'm doing my best to fight, fight for my dreams, lean on my why. Some other people, their big why is, they're doing such sacrifices on, by means of working abroad, taking hard jobs for their family, for their kids. And some of them, some people, they want to learn something, they want to upgrade, they want to earn more. Whatever is your why, always remember that in times of hardships. And it's also our job to protect our dreams, not let other people disapprove that. No, we don't need those people. It's our job to validate ourselves first. So I hope I've shared something valuable today. And if you ever love this episode, you can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even in Amazon Music, as well as in Twitter, X, Reinforce Me Club. Reinforce Me Club. By the way, this is Anne, your fellow positive reinforcer. I do appreciate your time and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.